do have to do something about the audio though. Because I streamed a little bit last night to test some settings, and then when I tried to rewatch it later on, I couldn't hardly hear anything.
Probably just need to boost your capture.
But I'm not sure exactly which one it captures though. That's the problem. Because I use OBS to stream. I'm not sure exactly which one of the volume sliders I need to use for that.
And how many volume sliders do you have?
We've got desktop audio and desktop audio 2, but I don't know.
And how many volume sliders do you have?
We've got desktop audio and desktop audio 2, but I don't know.
And how many volume sliders do you have?
We've got desktop audio and desktop audio 2, but I don't know.
And how many volume sliders do you have?
We've got desktop audio and desktop audio 2, but I don't know.
And how many volume sliders do you have?
I think I may have gotten it fixed. I think I may have gotten it.
Surprised how many people I know are playing Final Fantasy 14.
It's rather fun, actually.
I gave it a try. I was okay with it. Oh, this team is hot garbage.
What are you playing?
I was playing Insurgency Sandstorm.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. like the the view setup better on YouTube than I do on Twitch too, as far as like the stream manager goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never think of YouTube. I never like, oh, let's see who's on YouTube streaming a game. Like, never happens. Like, it only happens like I go on looking for a let's play, and it's like, hey, this guy is streaming. I'm like, okay. It's like it's right above Facebook. Like Facebook gaming still weirds me out, or streaming, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I've never streamed on Facebook, but it's hard to explain because you got to think there's a lot of people that watch YouTube and searching, like if you search for a video of a particular game, sometimes live streams will actually come up as a result if it's about that game and subject matter. So
yeah, but it's never the guy streaming like 10 people. It's always the guy streaming like 15,000 people.
Yeah, normally, but I mean, you never know. I would like to do it for a living, but is that realistic? Probably not. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it's fine. I still have a job, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I kind of am about, like, when I was trying to stream. And it's like, I got a job. It doesn't really fucking matter if it works out or not.
Exactly.
It was kind of more of actually, like, a prestige thing. Like, I'm like, well, I'm good at video games. I feel I should be, I should get some, I don't know, recognition of it.
Right. That's one of the reasons that I chose MMO as my genre. So it's like I like playing with other people. I don't like playing games by myself.
Oh god, I hate MMOs, and it's not. It's more what they are. In terms of like most MMORPGs are a game of have mechanics I very much dislike, and then on top of that, like I very much hate the power gamers and the fact that the game has to balance to the power gamers. Because like I don't want to RP per se, but I definitely don't want to, like I don't want people excluding other people because they don't have optimized builds.
You see, that's they don't do that in Final Fantasy XIV, from what I can tell.
I literally got excluded from a group because somebody said, "Oh, I have this coming in, and he's what this guy is." So they're like, "Yeah, you go away."
In 14?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
pretty much. I had a weekend where like the game just wasn't really giving me anything. I was just grinding, and then like I was just getting into dungeons, like because I was mostly like learning. Like I went through every single skill set or like crafting and like resource gathering stuff, and I was just getting to the point where you have to do dungeons to advance your story, and that's happened to me, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not kind of thrilled about this. One of my buddies, Mouse Man, got me through a few dungeons, and then it just kind of happened again. And I'm just like, what? The same thing happened to me in Guild Wars. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Wow, there's people like that in Guild Wars. The game takes absolutely no skill to play.
Yeah, well, so Guild Wars 1, we kind of had the problem of like people could put together a squad that they liked better by using their what like companions and whatever. And so and then Guild Wars, we had a problem is we never had 5. We either had 4 or we had like 6, which used to get me very angry because it's like every time I showed up, it was like always 4 or 6. Like, so, so I just felt excluded a lot just because of the timing. Like other people were either playing late, so like it was too late for me, or they were playing because they didn't have jobs or they were in college and I had a job. So like by the time I got on at 6, like they had already been playing with each other for the evening.
Right. See, I played Guild Wars 1, and generally when I'm playing an MMO, I play a warrior of some description. what got me irritated about um, Guild Wars 1 is because I played a warrior elementalist, and essentially, once you learned the super Ursa, you were done. Your other skills were irrelevant, your gear was irrelevant. Literally, you used that skill and your character was as good as it was ever going to be. That's what irritated me.
I definitely noticed that there was definitely some issues. Like, I had trouble when some, what was it? I came in with the third update with like the dervish and the, I don't know, the spear. Yeah. And I went with the dervish. I thought it was such an interesting concept of a character. And I found out like it really just didn't fit in most groups, depending on what, the balance they had just done. So I kind of struggled with that. And then again, when I first did it, it was, I don't know if this was always there or what, but you could bring in you could bring in like 3 companions or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it's one per, yeah.
Well, they definitely expanded it because I had buddies running with a full 8-man grouping to when I don't remember what it was, but it was for one of those like achievements or something where you had to clear a zone completely of like everything. And they would run a full thing of like companions and something else. Because I think they started making it more and more lax as it went further and further along. But neither here nor there. So that was one of the problems I had, is just like the concept I wanted to play just did not fit into the game at the time. And again, it kind of fell into it was kind of dying off, and people were just grinding a handful of certain things to get like end game gear. And I was trying to work with the storyline. Everybody's like, "Oh, I beat the storyline, so I'm done." And then Guild Wars 2, I had the same problem, but like, again, the 5-man, we've got a 5-man in, well, I'm a 6-man, and finally when I get around to getting a chance to beat the story, everybody's like, I already beat the story, so like I have no interest in pushing back. Because didn't you have to like push back something to like be able to get to like some of the last few missions
On Guild Wars 2?
Yeah.
I don't remember, honestly.
I never got to beat the storyline because, like, as I remember it, like, certain things had to happen for you to make those final missions available. And when I was available to play, again, because of job and other things going on in my life, just it wasn't happening. And like, I'd get a group together and they'd be like, "Oh, the dragon's showing up," and then like they'd all disappear. So I've just personally never had great experiences with MMO RPGs.
Yeah, I have. I've always had good experiences. That's why I keep playing them.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure it's like anything. You start playing a few first-person shooters, and you just get dunked down to the point where you can't stand it. You don't, you give up on them, but your RPGs go fantastic, so that becomes what you like. I don't know.
Truth is, you don't like RPGs because you suck.
Oh, also, I have to play with this guy's named Savage.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Every guild I've ever had, I've joined, and I just can't deal with it.
You just run away from him.
He's just so entirely Canadian.
Yeah, the entire nation should just fucking float off into the Arctic.
You know, if you think he's Canadian, you should meet Cindian.
Oh god, that guy, fucking. He makes me look American by comparison.
The reason we call him Captain Canuck.
Oh, he is. Yeah, and he'll be a bit of a fixture around here once New World drops. So,
yep.
Yeah, get used for a lot more maple in your diet.
You know, Savage is crazy because I told the wife that pretty much the only reason I was still playing Warcraft is because my Canadians, you and Cindian.
Uh huh.
So she kept asking me, she's like, "So how's your Canadians doing? They need anything?"
Oh, geez, eh?
Yeah, dude, Gordy's pretty broke up about me quitting the raid.
Wait, who is?
Gordy.
Oh. Well.
He kinda snorted a chortle. When I said, what? You can just use Bear